I want to start with the reality that right now in the NFL, the thing we're seeing from all teams, either online or in weekly releases that they're sending out, their original, unofficial, or for some, the word unofficial isn't even applied, depth charts. The Steelers don't have the unofficial caveat on theirs. Other teams do, and we've heard this for years. Coaches like to downplay these depth charts because the NFL requires them to do them, and, oh, it's just something our PR staff puts together. Well, I'd like to think that, the PR staff has a pretty good idea of what the coaching staff thinks, and that the PR staff would have its finger on the pulse of the team, given that the PR staff is, around the team all the time. So the more they try to tell us how meaningless they are, the more I'm convinced they are very meaningful. They are all we have. They are the only way to begin to put together a pecking order as to where the players fit. And from inside the building, that's significant. They know who's rated where. And outside the building, that's all we have. Now, you could argue, well, the guys inside the building really know because they're at practice. They know who's getting the reps with the first team. Well, okay, but even then, if I'm a guy that's getting the predominant share of the reps on the first team and I look at the depth chart and I see that I'm second string, I'm wondering what the hell's going on, because I'm going to hear from family members and friends questions about why the hell I'm on the second team and not on the first team. So the more they try to tell us it means nothing, the more convinced I am it means plenty. It is the only guide we have to go by until it's time to play the games that count. So yes, it means something. And I'm sure coaches have used it in the past to send messages, to try to put a foot in a guy's ass. The farther you are down on the depth chart, especially if you've been around for a while. I'll give you an example. The Giants, we just posted this today. Malik Neighbors listed as a starting receiver. Good news for him. Bad news for Allen Robinson, veteran receiver who was cut by the Steelers in the offseason, signed with the Giants after the draft. He's listed as a third stringer behind Neighbors and Isaiah Hodgins. Well, a 30-year-old veteran isn't going to be a third stringer. A 30-year-old veteran as a third stringer is a guy who has to play on every special team to justify his existence on the roster. They're not going to have Allen Robinson do that. So if he's lower than second string when it's time to cut the roster to 53, he isn't going to be on the team. So those things are very significant. And again, the harder they try to get us to say nothing to see here, the more inclined I am to say there's something to see. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.